Private aviation is not just recovering, it's accelerating. And here's the latest that shows why 2025 is the moment to act. Now, we've noticed that corporate RFPs for private jets have tripled since last year. This is interesting. Of course, this year, the new US government have introduced 100% bonus depreciation, offering buyers an exceptional opportunity to write off the entire purchase of the jet early. In North America, business jet departures are up 3.5% compared to last year, while if we look at the fractional ownership flights, they're up over 10%. And globally, private jet flights are up 3%. So, we see more and more people traveling by private jet. The OEM delivery growth is interesting. Cirium and Honeywell forecast 11 to 12% increase in business jet deliveries for 2025, totaling around 695 units globally. JetNet expects 820 total deliveries, an 8% increase over 2024, with 455 already delivered. So these are kind of the numbers that are coming out here. We're also seeing a lot of investment money flowing into the market. Flexjet just recently had an investment of $800 million. Flexjet is one of the fractional ownership companies, now valued at over $4 billion. We've also seen Delta Airlines acquire Wheels Up, and they are continuing to fuel Wheels Up, cost cutting, fleet modernization, and taking it into a path for profitability. So putting a lot of time and money into this, into making Wheels Up a really profitable company, and that's part of the Delta Airlines group. So we see this kind of movement happening. We see these larger aircraft, long distance aircraft now flying with the Global 7500 with over 100 different records now already. We've got the Gulfstream G800 coming on the market this year as well, which has got long legs. So more and more people are using private jets for these long distance flights. They just get on the plane, sit there for 13, 14, 15 hours, and then get off the other end. And also, the other thing is we see some of the companies now starting to look at the pilot training. At last, as I've been saying, the safety record of private aviation is a lot worse than the airlines, as I talk about in my book, The Quantum Economy. If you haven't got a copy of the book, it's a lot about private aviation in this book and about the business of the future. And pilot training is really important. Your pilots are more important than the airplane. I always say this. And a lot of the training has not been very good, which is what's been causing the accidents. So now some of the companies are now starting to invest in scenario-based training, which I've been talking about for the last 3 or 4 years, saying that's really what needs to happen. We need to look at the accidents and then create scenarios in the simulator around those accidents so the pilots can practice and know what to do if they were to be in a situation like that. That's really, really important. So now's really time to reach out, and here I can organize a bunch of charters for you. We can organize a lease if you want to maybe start by leasing a plane for maybe 3 months or 6 months, which is something that a lot of people are doing these days. Or alternatively, we could look at the fractional programs, see if there's one suitable for you, or we can go straight in and buy an aircraft, or you may even want to share an aircraft with somebody that you know, or somebody that's local, buy half each or a third each. That's another thing. Jet sharing is another thing that some people do. So there's lots of different options, but a lot of it depends on you and your circumstances. But as I always say, I always lead with the crew, with the pilots. The pilots are more important than the plane. So when you talk to me, we'll be talking about, of course, your mission, where do you need to go, your budget, and then we'll be talking about pilots and how many you're going to need and what expectations there are from these people, what they expect to be paid in order to get good ones. Because if you're going to spend 10, 15, $20 million on an airplane, you want to make sure that, who's ever in charge of the aircraft does a good job. And so you need to attract good people. You need to give them the right training to keep you safe. This is really, really important. I know a lot of people don't like me saying this, but this is the reality. Private aviation safety record is really bad, and we need to do something about it. So if you are looking to buy an aircraft and this is your first purchase, we really need to look into that aspect of the deal. Too many people get lost on the aeroplane and they're thinking, oh, plane, and then they want to go cheap on the pilots. And this is why the safety record is so bad. It's not just hiring the right pilots and paying them the right money. It's also organizing their training so that their training fits in with your type of operation. So if you're, for example, going into a lot of mountainous regions, tricky airports, we need to build some training scenarios around those airports in the simulator for your pilots to practice. These are kind of things that we need to look at when we're evaluating and putting a plan in place for you, the acquisition of your aircraft, because it's not just about the plane's going to cost me 10 million to buy. Well, how much is it going to cost you to run safely? And I want to underline the word safely. So a lot of these people out there will tell you, oh yes, it's going to cost you $2.5 million a year to fly the airplane 200 hours a year. Well, in that $2.5 million, how much have they budgeted for pilot training, and is that enough for your pilots to be safe? Upset recovery training is something that hardly anybody's doing, but is a must. More simulator time is something that hardly anybody is doing, but is a must in order to be safe. These are the things that need to be built into your plan. So that's all from me on this episode of Biz Jet TV. We've got over 1,100 videos here about private aviation and more coming. So if you're new to the channel, subscribe, have a look around, and if you want to have a chat with me or one of my team, reach out. We'll get on a one-to-one call and hear more about your needs and come up with the right solution for you, whether it's a bunch of charters, whether we're going to do a lease, or whether we're going to acquire an aircraft, or maybe go for one of the fractional programs. We'll work out what the best solution is for you, and we'll make sure that that aircraft is crewed and operated safely, so that you can fly with your family, with your loved ones, or for business, or for both, as a lot of people do, and go from A to B in safe stacks of time, and be a lot safer as well and secure on a private jet. And that's all from Felicia Polly here on Biz Jet TV. Check out this other video we did recently, which I'm sure you'll enjoy, and I'll see you on the next one.